Federal government holds state funeral for soldiers laid to rest at the military cemetery. Bandits kill chief imam, abduct multiple individuals in Zamfara community. Water shortages in Abuja community as residents decry inadequate infrastructure. On the international scene, son of Guinea-Bissau's former president imprisoned in the United States for drug trafficking to finance a coup. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin with a development on the slain soldiers in Delta community, where President Bola Tinubu has conferred national honors on the 7 who were killed on the 14th of March 2024 at Okwama in Delta State. The president, who also promised justice for their families, instructed the military to pay all benefits to families within 90 days. Tinubu stated this at the burial ceremony of the army personnel in Abuja. Trust TV's Newell Sampson has more.
The bodies of the soldiers arrived in National Military Cemetery at 2:34 p.m. as family members watched with teary eyes. The president, in his speech, conferred posthumous national awards on the 17 soldiers and announced other benefits such as scholarship and housing for their families. He also urged the Nigerian military not to be discouraged by the incident.
It is now our duty to protect the families of our departed heroes. The federal government will provide housing in any part of our country to each of the families of the 4 officers and 13 soldiers that's why among them. The federal government has also approved scholarship to all children of the deceased up to university level, including those who are in the womb. The military will appeal to you to, within the next 90 days, to ensure that all benefits of departed are paid to their families. May the families of departed and all the loved ones find strength to bear the pain of this loss.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, and the Chief of Army Staff, Tarid Lagbaja, vowed to hunt down the perpetrators of the act, adding that there is no hiding place for them.
To the perpetrators of this violence who seek to sow division and fear among our people, take this from me. Our resolve will not wither. We will hunt you down, we will bring you to justice, and will restore peace and security to every nook and cranny of our dear nation. Your evil actions may cause pain and suffering, but they will never extinguish the spirit of unity and resilience that burns within us. Whoever is supporting them, either directly or indirectly, in every way, be rest assured, we will get them, we will smoke them out wherever they are, and those who are offering them any support will face the music. That we guarantee. We will honor your memory by continuing the fight against those who seek to undermine our peace and security. We will remain steadfast in our resolve to build a nation worthy of your sacrifice. This sacrifice will not go in vain. The loss we feel today is immeasurable, but we must not allow it to dim the light of our renewed hope within us. Instead, let us use this moment as a rallying cry to come together as a nation to support our armed forces and to work tirelessly towards a Nigeria free from the grip of violence and insecurity.
It grieves my heart that it took our search and recovery effort over 72 hours to recover some vital organs of the decapitated and disemboweled bodies of my men that were scattered all over the Okwama community by the community youths and their friends. I consider it the most barbaric act any citizen or community can commit against the authority of the state. And I must place on record that a lot of restraints have been exercised so far in our search and recovery efforts for missing arms, ammunition, other equipment, and body parts.
Present at the funeral were the governors of Delta, Bayelsa, Kwara, Imo, and Kogi State, Deputy Senate President, as well as the Speaker, House of Representatives, among other dignitaries.
Present! On the shoulder. Fire! Reload! What's happening? Stop. Present! Fire!
Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still on security matters, bandits have once again attacked Zamfara State, killing Sheikh Ahmad Rufai, the chief imam of the Central Mosque in Keita village of Safe local government area of the state. The attack occurred shortly after Muslims observed the night congregational prayers. The incident comes just 3 weeks after the murder of Imam Abubakar Hassan Mada, the chief imam of the Central Mosque in Mada, Gusau local government area. According to Ibrahim Musa Keita, a resident of Keita village, the bandits were initially spotted along the Kwaring Gano Keita road. Despite residents being alerted of their presence, the bandits proceeded to invade the village. After failing to abduct road users, they attacked Keita village, killing the chief imam and abducting an undisclosed number of people, including women. The State Public Relations Officer for Zamfara State Command, ASP Abubakar Yazid, was yet to react to the incident. We'll now cross over to Daily Trust Regional Editor Yushau Adamu, who is joining us via phone call to give an update on the recent attack in Safe local government area of Zamfara State. Thank you so much, Yushau Adamu, for joining us on the News Hour tonight.
Thank you. Good news.
Kindly bring us up to speed on new information regarding this particular incident.
Well, I have spoken with some residents later, but up to this moment they have not released the deal that they have accepted. The residents keep on saying that in the next 24 hours or so, they would order them to discuss the issue maybe of our ransom. But after this time, they haven't ordered the residents to release even they have abducted.
Yushau.
Yeah.
This is yet another killing of a religious leader in Zamfara within just 3 weeks. I'd like to know, is this an indication of a new trend?
Well, it's not a new trend per se, because the first chief imam that was killed, it was alleged he was killed by the personnel of the community protection guard, who the state commandant said they are under investigation. And this is the second imam, I mean the one that was killed in Keita, who was killed by bandits. So it was not a new thing. They have been doing this even like 2 months ago. They have attacked the Spati and killed and abducted some officials, including the chief imam. But it's not a new trend, obviously.
Is the military or police stepping up to counter the activities of these bandits who are disrupting lives on a daily basis?
They are doing their best. Even today, we learned that one of the bandit leaders, although he was killed, he had an encounter with the Nigerian troops along Madada, where they shot him in the shoulder. He sustained a gunshot. he was taken allegedly to a private hospital in Sokoto, where he eventually died. So the military are doing their best. They are checking on these on the hideouts of these bandits, and they are killing and maybe chasing them away from their place.
Thank you so much, Yusha Adamu. We do hope that the security agencies and operatives will catch up with perpetrators of these heinous crimes and bring them to book. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour. We do hope to reconnect with you subsequently as soon as more information comes to light.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Also, troops of the Nigerian army, in collaboration with hybrid forces, have neutralized some terrorists and recovered arms, ammunition and rustled cattle in Borno and Katsina states. The Nigerian army made this disclosure in a post on its official X handle on Wednesday. The post said the operations were carried out on identified Boko Haram and Islamic State of West Africa province enclaves within the Gori General Area in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. The statement said the troops successfully neutralized one terrorist, rescued several cattle, and recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 38 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, AK-47 magazines, 1 improvised explosive device, and 1 motorcycle. In Katsina State, the army said an offensive on terrorist camps led to the killing of 2 of the criminals at Garin Rinji General Area in Batsari local government area. And now, away from security matters, the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, has subsidized fares for intending pilgrims who will perform this year's Hajj under the umbrella of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board. The Director General of the board, Lamin Dan Bafa, made the disclosure while briefing newsmen on Wednesday. He said the Kano State government took the decision due to the recent increase of the Hajj fares by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria following the instability of the forex exchange rate. Dan Bafa urged all intending pilgrims to ensure that they pay the balance before March 28, 2024, as directed by NAHCON. The Director General maintained that those to benefit from the Hajj subsidy are those who have already paid part payment to the board, saying over 2,900 intending pilgrims have already made their part payment with the board. Recall that early this week, NAHCON announced the increase of Hajj fares by an additional 1.9 million naira, bringing the total fares to 6.6 million naira. Meanwhile, fresh intending pilgrims are required to pay 8.2 million naira as the full Hajj fare for this year, as required by NAHCON. Similarly, following the decision by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to increase the 2024 Hajj fare by 1.9 million naira, some intending pilgrims in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are asking the State Muslims Welfare Board to refund their initial deposits. NAHCON had on March 24 announced an increase in the Hajj fare, a development that did not go well with many of the intending pilgrims in Jos. Adam Musa completes the report.
Soon after the announcement of the increase, intending pilgrims in Plateau State have been complaining about the development, calling for the refund of their deposits. According to them, after being told that they had finally paid for the travel, they were later informed that they will pay additional money, lamenting that they don't know where to source for the additional sum, which is close to 2 million naira. We are not happy with the increment. We woke up and heard that the Hajj fare has been increased to 6.8 million naira. We were asked to pay a certain amount of money before, which we have paid. Why are they telling us another story? I don't have money to complete it. I want my money back. We could not sleep and eat the day we heard about it. Even when people were asked to pay 4.6 million naira, many could not afford it. Now we are being asked to pay an additional 1.9 million naira. This increment will prevent many of us from going for the Hajj. Where does the government want us to source this money from? We are not just keeping money in our houses. Look at the time frame. This is not possible. When we were asked to add additional money, we did it. A lot of people sold their properties at a loss. Now there is another story. Let them refund my money. We are not going.
Wannan ni ban ji daɗin wannan ƙarin da aka yi ba, ƙarin yayi yawa sosai.
The increment is too much. Earlier they asked us to pay an additional amount. Now they are asking again. They should refund my money if they are not accepting the initial amount. Some of the intending pilgrims say, despite the new development, they are still calling on the government to think and reverse the decision.
Muna da kira da gwamnati da hukumar nakon ta dubi wannan al'amari.
We are pleading with the government to subsidize the fare for us, since we have already paid the initial agreed amount. Government should do something about it. If government cannot do anything, they should refund my deposit.
In kira ga gwamnatin tarayya.
I am calling on the government to do something because people cannot afford it. The government should look at the current economic hardship in the country and reverse its decision. Since after the announcement of the increase, people across Nigeria have continued to lament the situation, calling on NACOM to either allow them travel at the earlier amount or refund them. Adom Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And now to the southwestern part of the country. Amidst the economic hardship in the country, the Lagos state government has demolished houses in Oto, Lagos mainland community in Abuja West, leaving residents of the community homeless. This has worsened their plight, as many are not just struggling for food but shelter as well. Let's take a look at the report.
The pathetic situation of residents of Oto, Lagos mainland community following the demolition has sparked outrage and left many without shelter. As a result, many now sleep outside as their abodes have been demolished.
Even though the demolition will come in a community, it should have been a negotiation with the people in the community. It's not bad if the kings and the Lagos state have meeting with the people in the community. If they want to chase people out of community, they should not chase them as an animal. We have a government of the people, by the people. But the government we have these days are the government of the people that are using power on the people.
Judgment is there for everybody to see that at least both parties should go and meet and see how we can. That is just the judgment. And now nobody's talking about the judgment. And this Friday, last Friday, you just see the Labaka, that is Labka. They start demolishing, set property ablaze.
The residents urge the government to come to their aid by providing shelter for them.
The houses outside, they are not affordable for us. We can't afford them. A lot of us are sleeping outside the main road, outside, even as we are like this. All our properties are lost and everything. We are outside, inside the rain. As I'm a single mom of two. I'm trying to live my life, a standard life at least. I don't want the community where I came out from to determine my future. I'm managing myself to even run the part-time program in Last Protect. Now all my everything are being chartered. As a last final year student now, I don't even know. I don't have any hope if I'm going to finish. If I'm going to even sign out this year with this that is going on, I don't have any hope anywhere because I've not paid my school fees. I've not done anything. The only hope I have is here, and now the hope is being chartered. They just came all of a sudden one afternoon, unannounced. We are begging, we are praying, we are begging them they should please, we need adequate house. If the development is coming up, we should be included in it.
Make them recognize us and make them do better for all, both the tenants, both the landlord, both everybody. But we are suffer. Make them recognize us. See, the rain fall yesterday. We are inside the rain. It's all right.
They also called for compensation to enable them look for alternative accommodations.
Quite a sad one there. Now, away from that, contrary to the report making the rounds on X, Bureau of the Shanja operators say there is no truth in reports making the rounds that the dollar is now selling at 1,000 naira at parallel market. There have been trending reports on X that dollar is now selling at 1,000 naira in Abuja. However, a BDC operator on Wednesday in Abuja denied selling foreign exchange at the quoted price. Recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria offered to sell $10,000 to each BDC operator at 1,251 naira per dollar. The Apex Bank expects them to sell above 1,269 per dollar, representing a margin of 18 naira. An ex-user whose real name could not be ascertained also debunked the rumor, stating that he was at Sheraton Hotel in Zone 4 and there was no such transaction. And now an economist, Yusha Aliyu, joins us via phone call to give an insight on the forex market instability. Thank you so much, Yusha Aliyu, for joining us on the News Hour.
Thank you, Trustee.
Welcome. It appears the government has changed its mind on floating the naira by attempting to use price control measures. How effective will this be in stabilizing the exchange market?
We can see the development so far. It is encouraging that the central bank has decided to change an approach that will assist the appreciation of the legal tender, not only help the appreciation of the legal tender, but also establish certain stability in the economic sector. You know, from the MPC meeting of February to the MPC meeting of just yesterday, tightening monetary policy approach, which is the result. But in my own opinion, it is not just the tightening of the monetary policy, but also the direct approach in assisting the naira based on many facts that has your account.
That was Yusha Aliyu. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour. Now, away from that, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has debunked reports that it reduced the price of premium motor spirit and automotive gas oil. NNPC's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Olufemi Shoneye, disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. He said the reports making the round were fake and should be disregarded. This is the News Hour on Trust Television, coming up shortly. Abuja community struggles with water shortages due to inadequate infrastructure. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us on the News Hour on Trust Television. Let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. You heard that federal government hosts state funeral for soldiers laid to rest at the military cemetery. Bandits kill chief imam, abduct multiple individuals in Zamfara community. Let's cross over now to Yusha Aliyu again, an economist, to give us an insight on the forex market instability. Yusha, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you once again.
So I was asking earlier, you know, we have been here before now, and where the CBN protects the naira by boosting its performance. Is this sustainable though?
Yes, the approach central bank has introduced is what is going to sustain the appreciation of the naira. Remember that it is not only the tightening of the monetary policy that is assisting the situation, but the direct approach embarked upon by the bank to make sure that the right stakeholders are partners in establishing certain stability for the appreciation of the legal tender.
But then earlier you were giving me an explanation of the recent MPC meeting, and I also would like to add that it appears that the government has changed its mind on floating the naira by attempting the use of control measures. What's your take on all of this, and how effective will this be in stabilizing the exchange market?
You see, any policy that is coming either from the Monetary Policy Committee or directly from the central bank is targeting towards economic stability. And once that stability is not established, it is a tax upon the central bank not only to establish price stability, but to make sure that the legal tender is highly protected. Floating the exchange rate, it is only going to be successful if other things are held constant. But the present scenario, where there is a lot of loopholes around the economy, especially from the exchange rate system, where you find multinational organizations, including the so-called finance and other related agencies, are taking advantage of a weaker policy and they're establishing certain economic gains to themselves and at the extent of the Nigerian economy. So it is, in my opinion, that the first monetary policy committee that was held in February and that was held yesterday is attempting to strengthen the irregular supply of exchange rate that is required for the economy. But the measure is not enough when you look at the complexity of the Nigerian economic system, the nature of consumers, and the nature of also the operators. There is much to be done to ensure that there is the right supply of the exchange rate, not only at the rate quoted by the central bank, but also at the rate that is extremely going to be favoring the Nigerian economy and also the Nigerian consumer in general.
Okay, that's the much we can take from you, Yushau Aliyu. Thank you so much for your insight on the forex market instability.
Thank you very much, Trust TV.
Moving on to more stories, and now to security matters. President Bola Tinubu has urged the judiciary to be firm in its judgments against kidnappers and treat the individuals involved in such despicable acts as terrorists. The president spoke on Tuesday at an iftar dinner with members of the judicial arm of government, led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. He described kidnapping as a reprehensible act which must be met with a strong resolve. Kehinde Amodu has details of this story.
President Tinubu has continued to meet with members of different arms of government in the course of the Ramadan fast. This time around, he's meeting with a delegation from the judiciary, made up of 7 retired officers, including 2 former Chief Justices of Nigeria, Justices Mahmood Muhammad and Walter Onogen. He has chosen to pass a strong message on this occasion.
Let's take very strong action against these people. They become cowardly, they have been degraded, they look for soft targets, they go to backyard of local schools, kidnap children and create disaffection. We must treat them equally as terrorists.
The president also shares insights into what motivated the review of salaries of judicial officers by his administration.
You can't blame me. I have to see it from compensatory, fair angle that will be beneficial. And you can't say you fighting corruption and not put teeth into the spine. It's not the proper way to go.
Both the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation are acknowledging the president's efforts to improve the welfare of judicial officers in the country.
For the first time, the administration now has the full complement of the Supreme Court. We are 21 justices now. It has never happened this way. Your Excellency approved all of them, and you've made payment for so many things for them. They are getting more and more comfortable.
The salaries and emoluments of judges of various courts have been comatose for quite some time, since 2007. It takes a man with great heart, determination, and consideration to do what you have just done. More than 300.2% increase has been given to the judges.
The call on the judiciary for stronger action against kidnappers is a key thrust of the administration to reduce insecurity across the country. But beyond that, the response of the judiciary on this occasion reflects the efforts of the Tinubu administration to maintain harmony between the three arms of government. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Mixed reactions have continued to trail President Tinubu's order for the implementation of the Oronsanye report on public sector reforms. Members of civil societies in Osun State want President Bola Tinubu to tread carefully in implementing the report, particularly the attempt to scrap the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate. Hamid Oyegbade files in this report.
During the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate was created to stop corruption in pension administration. In implementing Oronsanye report, federal government may scrap PTAD and put its functions under the Federal Ministry of Finance. But pensioners are afraid that if PTAD is scrapped, there will be a reinstitution of corruption and another round of harsh treatment and more untimely death of pensioners.
We've all decided that we are not in support of scrapping PTAD because immediately they established PTAD, it is as from that period that we've been enjoying. There are no more debts. When we were using the federal government issue, but before now, there are debts, there were frauds, there were all things that are not supposed to be for pensioners. But now, Peter has arranged everything that we don't have any problem.
Leading members of civil societies in Osun State, Waheed Saka and Waheed Lawal, differ on the subject matter.
You know, there are crises around the pension and pension law, and that was the reason why the Goodluck Jonathan administration created a department, a directorate to deal with the arrangement of pension and stuff like that. And now, if we now merge it to Ministry of Finance, considering the voluminous and the controversy around the corruption-related activities in the Ministry of Finance, you want to set the pensioner back to another decades of corrupt practices. That is not acceptable.
Duplicating agency is part of the problem we're having in this country. If Oronsanye report recommend that some agencies should be subsumed into federal ministry, so be it. Agencies like Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, they will be well taken care of at the Federal Ministry of Finance.
Whatever decision follows the implementation of the report, all Nigerians want is that government policies should better the lives of citizens, not the other way round. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The federal government has declared Friday, March 29 and Monday, April 1, 2024 as public holidays to mark the celebrations of 2024 Good Friday and Easter Monday. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made this known on behalf of the federal government in a statement signed by Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Aishetu Ndayako, on Wednesday. According to the minister, Easter, beyond religious significance, promotes values of love, forgiveness, and compassion, which are essential for social cohesion and harmony. He called on Christians to imbibe these virtues as they are capable of impacting positively on the socio-economic development in Nigeria by fostering unity, reducing conflicts, and encouraging cooperation among Nigerians. He further urged Nigerians to show acts of charity and generosity to help alleviate the material conditions of the less privileged amongst them. While wishing Christians at home and abroad a happy and blissful Easter celebration, the minister also called on Nigerians to join hands with President Bola Tinubu-led administration in its determination to bring sustainable development and usher in prosperity to all. And onto political matters. Despite the opposition of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Julius Abure has been re-elected as the national chairman of Labour Party for a second term by unanimous affirmation of delegates. The chairman of the National Convention and deputy governor of Abia State, Ikechukwu Emetu, declared him the winner during the party's national convention on Wednesday in Nnewi, Anambra State. Abure has been having a running battle with the NLC leadership led by Joe Ajero. Earlier, the NLC called for Abure's resignation as party chairman and the immediate constitution of a caretaker transition committee to organize a legitimate and all-inclusive national convention for the party. The World Bank reports that 60 million Nigerians lack basic drinking water, with water scarcity hitting Abuja, the nation's capital, particularly hard. In rural communities, children often must choose between fetching water and attending school. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail in this report takes a look at this scarcity and how it affects their education, health, and future. Take a look.
16-year-old Samson Shasu, a JSS2 student with dreams of studying electrical engineering, faces significant challenges due to water scarcity in his community of Gumbo, Abuja. He often misses early morning lessons because he has to travel a long distance to fetch water to support his family. This dilemma highlights the harsh reality that many students like Samson endure, where necessities conflict with educational aspirations. Efforts to alleviate water scarcity in such areas are crucial to ensure that students like Samson can pursue their education without undue hardship.
To fetch water like 10 buckets, and before I'm done with the fetching, before I went to school, I would be late. So it took so long time to finish the domestic work. So before I reach the school, people is already in the class. So I miss some lessons. So if I'm late, the teacher will beat me and give me some punishments.
The parents of 16-year-old Samson are deeply concerned about the impact of water scarcity on their child's education. The constant struggle to secure enough water for their large family is exhausting and threatens to disrupt Samson's schooling. This situation highlights the urgent need for solutions to alleviate water scarcity in their community, ensuring that families can access the resources they need without compromising their children's education and future prospects.
In my house, I have 2 wives, and I have almost 10 children here with me. Then we consume like 6 drums in a day. At times they used to come and complain, and there is nothing I alone can do.
Although Gumbo is said to have a large population of over 1,000 people, it has only 4 hand-pump boreholes which are inadequate to meet the needs of the community. When the boreholes are faulty, this pond becomes the last resort for the community.
The coming of FCT entirely, in fact, they've done a lot, but still, it is not enough. Why? Simple because if you see this area now, we are battling with only single borehole, on which if we have up to 3 or 4, only to this side is not bad.
Samson Shasu, driven by his ambition to become an electrical engineer, remains hopeful that authorities will take action to resolve the water scarcity in his village. His wish is for an end to the daily struggle of fetching water, which currently forces him to sacrifice valuable learning time. Samson's determination exposes the critical need for addressing water scarcity in communities like his, ensuring that young minds can focus on their education and pursue their dreams without unnecessary obstacles.
Women need to leave their homes and children to be here, and indeed it is affecting the progress of children's education as it relates to the issue of 16-year-old Samson Shasu, who needs to be here to fetch some water before he gets time to go to school, and it is challenging. Their hope is that the authorities concerned will come to their aid. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The need to address internal challenges facing power supply, healthcare, effective transportation system, and other utilities that improve business competitiveness has been identified as key to curbing brain drain in Nigeria. At an annual lecture in Asaba on the topic, Flight of Talent, Navigating Nigeria's Brain Drain Predicament, resource persons from different sectors of the economy said one of the consequences of brain drain in the country is the depletion of human capital, which is essential to nation's development. They sued for the strengthening of institutions in the country and good governance to attract Nigerians outside the country to return to the nation to develop the country with the resources acquired from advanced countries.
In summary, the consequences is depleting the human manpower. So we need to really go through the root of it and see what we can do to curb it. Really, a lot of our skilled manpower, they are really fleeing, and the rate at which they are moving to other countries is really alarming.
So it's about leadership. It's about leadership. We've had good leadership that meant well for us. The leadership will be struggling every day to ensure that our currency, our naira, remains valuable.
Once there's power, you can see people do some minor industries can come up, people can earn livings from there, and then this issue of running away will reduce. It will reduce.
So they should develop structures that can make people learn here in Nigeria, stay here in Nigeria, and their learning or their years in education or whatever talent they have is appreciated and will grow our economy.
Let's now join Yusuf Akogu for some business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Tax payment from foreign companies in Nigeria dropped by 45.3% within 3 months. According to the latest company income tax report by the National Bureau of Statistics, the tax revenue to the federal government declined to 596.1 billion naira in the fourth quarter of last year from 1.09 trillion naira in the previous quarter. NBS report also revealed that the tax revenue from both local and foreign firms in Africa's biggest economy grew by 72.8%. CIT, which is also known as corporate tax, is the levy the government imposes on the income of a company. Telecommunication subscribers and other consumers of information and communication services in Nigeria paid 412.31 billion naira in value-added tax in 2023. Data from NBS revealed that the telecom company is one of the largest contributors to the government tax revenue because of its role in the economy. NBS data further stressed that the sector contributed 19.29%, 21.19%, 19.04%, and 10.02% in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 respectively. The growth in VAT revenue underscores increased consumption of telecom services, with data usage soaring to 703,200 terabytes as of December 2023 from 507.670 terabytes in January of the same year. The Central Bank of Nigeria has further slashed the exchange rate for computing custom duties at the nation's seaport by 3%. The move is as a result of the continuous rise in the value of naira in both official and parallel markets. According to the information obtained from the official trade portal of the Nigeria Customs Service, the custom FX duty rate was reviewed downward from 1,448 per dollar to 1,405 naira per dollar on Tuesday. Now to the stock market. NGX closed positive on Wednesday following renewed interest in banks' equities. Let's see how it went down today. For some of the top gaining equities, we have CWG, Computer Warehouse, gaining 10% to close at 7 naira and 15 kobo per share. Julie, 9.97% it gained, 9 naira and 49 kobo per share. It ended on the day. FTN Cocoa, back on the gainer table today, 9.94%, 1 naira and 77 kobo. The share price closed at the end of business. And of course, this has put the market up by 0.32%, a marginal gain you will say, but it's very, very important. I mean, significant. 4.483.247 million volume of shares traded, value at 11.99 billion naira in a list of 10,106. This did exchange hands among investors at the close of business this Wednesday. Of course, let's look at some of the top trading equities. We have all of them are all in the top in the banking sector. Indeed, Taiwan Bank's Access Corporation there, 83.395 million shares. Talking about Zenith Bank, 51.70 million shares, and of course UBA 48.584 million volume of shares were indeed traded. Of course, there are some equities that ended on the losing side of the market. Topping that table is Northern Nigeria Flour Mill PLC, down 9.97%, followed by Prestige, an insurance company, down by 9.68%, and of course, Omatech also down there 8.86% as well. That's the highlight of the stock trading as it went out this Wednesday on the floor of the NGS trading floor. Let's see the global stock market for today. Now to the FX market. Naira firmed up against the greenback on Wednesday as speculators dump US dollars for the local currency. Let's see today's market data. Oil prices fall for a second day on Wednesday on surging U.S. stock price and sign that OPEC Plus producers group is unlikely to change its output policy at a technical meeting next week. At the London market, European Brent sells for $85 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, price steadies at $85 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Thank you so much, Yusuf Akagu. Now, away from Nigeria, the son of Guinea-Bissau's ex-president has been sentenced to over 6 years in prison by a United States court for leading an international heroin trafficking ring. Malam Bakai Senha Jr., 52, planned to use the process to fund his ambitions to become Guinea-Bissau's president through a coup. Authorities say he is the son of Malam Bakai Senha, who led the West African country from 2009 until his death in 2012. Senha Jr. has been linked to a failed coup in February 2022. He was extradited to the United States in August 2022 following his arrest in Tanzania a few weeks earlier. His trial began soon afterwards, and in September last year, he pleaded guilty to conspiring to illegally import drugs. Senha Jr. is accused of importing heroin from several countries to Portugal and also from Europe to the United States. United States authorities say he could be deported following his imprisonment as he is not an American citizen. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashimi for some sports news.
Nigeria Super Eagles winger Moses Simon is out for the rest of the season due to an injury he sustained on Tuesday during an international friendly game against Mali. His French Ligue 1 club outfit FC Nantes in a statement confirmed that Moses Simon will be out for the remainder of the season. The statement says Moses Simon suffered a fractured fibula, which means the end of the season. Nigeria Super Eagles suffered a 2-0 loss to the Eagles of Mali. The encounter played at Grand Stade de Marrakech, Morocco, under the watchful eyes of interim coach Finidi George. The team's next assignment will be the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against the Bafana of South Africa in June. Tennis world #1 player Novak Djokovic has split with coach Goran Ivanisevic. The former Wimbledon champion Ivanisevic became Djokovic's main coach in March 2022, having worked with him alongside long-term mentor Marian Vajja since 2018. Djokovic has scooped home a joint record 24 Grand Slam singles titles, but has made a disappointing start to 2024. He took to his Instagram to say he and Goran decided to stop working together a few days ago. He wrote further to say our on-court chemistry had its ups and downs, but our friendship was always rock solid. Djokovic lost in the semi-finals of the Australian Open in January, suffered a third-round defeat by world number 123 Luka Nadi at Indian Wells this month, then withdrew from the ongoing Miami Open, citing a need to balance his private and professional schedule. Krot Ivanisevic was selected for the ATP Coach of the Year in 2023, having helped Djokovic to 3 of the 4 Grand Slam titles. Djokovic shares the record for Grand Slam singles titles with Margaret Court of Australia. The French Open, which starts on 26th May 2024, is the next Grand Slam in the calendar. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
You're up to speed with some of the latest emerging and re-emerging stories from Nigeria and beyond. And with that, we've come to the end of the news hour on Trust Television. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time.